And a good afternoon to you, Bomber Nation. We welcome you to Goblin Arena here in the campus of Harrison High School. Should be a good one this afternoon between the Mountain Home Lady Bombers and the Harrison Golden Goblins. This is a 5A West Conference matchup. We're in the second half of conference play here in Harrison. Lady Bombers coming to this one 6-10, 3-5 in conference play. They'll have a home game on Thursday as they will take on Van Buren. Harrison 7-1, tied at the top of the conference. Here in the 5A West, I believe a win tonight would clinch a spot for them into the state playoffs. Glad you're here with us. I am Dylan Conley, bringing you all the action here on the Bomber Sports Network. Should be a good one here. They're about to do the national anthem. We'll send it down to the PA announcer, take us through the Pledge of Allegiance and all that jazz, and then we'll have the action for you here on the Bomber Sports Network.
Arena in this 5A West varsity conference game between the Bombers of Mountain Home and your Harrison Goblins. If you would, please stand for a moment of silence. And now, our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Now let's meet the starting lineups. First of our visitors from Mountain Home. A sophomore, number 17, Deanna Human. A sophomore, number 10, Lauren Rawls. A sophomore, number 7, Kara Jackson. A junior, number 21, Anna McCarr. A junior, number 3, Addison Marks. A junior, number 11, Ali Chankowski. And a senior, number 5, Carson Spence. And now, the starters for your Harrison Goblins. Coached by April Maddox and assisted by Robin Taylor. The starters are a freshman, 5'10", number 27, Grace Jennings. A 5'5" sophomore, number 12, Taylor It's Callie. No, I am so sorry. A 5'11" senior, number 16, Lady Rain. A 5'5" senior, number 23, Carly Bilby. And a 6'2" senior, number 18, Louise Ricketts.
And we're back here in Harrison, ready to get these going here. Real quiet crowd this evening. Real quiet arena as usual here. Very different than back home in the hangar. Usual suspects on the floor for Mountain Home be Chenkowski, McCarn, Carson Schmitz up front, Rawls, Human, and Jackson. A little lineup change. Jackson into the lineup now. Martz will check in for someone. We'll find that out here shortly. It's the only music available in the building, I guess, is from their boom box next to their scorer's table. So it's going to be a very quiet environment this evening. Glad you're here with us. This is the Bomber Sports Network. I'm Dylan Conley on behalf of Mountain Home Public Schools. Ready to bring you the action here this afternoon. The shortest conference road trip for the Lady Bombers, as it will be Addison Martz who will serve to begin the action here. This is dug out by Martz. Returned on the third hit. As this will go out of play, and it's a point for Mountain Home. Lady Bombers have the early lead, 1-0. So Martz will serve once again. Martz's serve goes to the left of the back row. Serve to the far side. That was set up for Rains, and it's knocked away, and it's a point for Harrison. As they respond right back, Sienna Miller, will come in. She will come in to serve.
Now serving, Sienna Miller.
Oh, Sienna Miller serves it right to Martz. Over to the far side, Chenkowski's blocked in the front row. Martz hits this one back. It's dug out by the libero of Harrison. This one's dug out, or it was an attempt to be dug out by Rawls. Couldn't get there, and it's 2-1 now in favor of the Lady Goblins. As this one will go out of play, it's a point for Mountain Home.
Point, Lady Bombers.
2-2 our score here early in set number one. Should be a very lively crowd as this match goes on. We have our junior high stuff going on. Vostatek comes in, Rawls, and sends it to Vostatek on the third hit. It's hit right into the net, and it's a point for Harrison.
Point, Lady Goblins.
So the Lady Goblins now have the lead once again. Hutchison in for Harrison. She will serve, the junior defensive specialist. Serve goes to the middle of the back row to McCarn, slaps this one out of bounds. 4-2 Harrison.
Point Goblins.
So it's a point for Harrison, and they have their biggest lead of the ball game so far. As this is an ace for Harrison.
Ace.
5-2 our score. Hutchison with the ace. 5-2 our score. Good serve by Hutchison, one of their better servers. This is sent to McCarn in the back row. Harrison tied for first place in the West right now. Schmitz over to McCarn. McCarn punches this one as they have to loft it over the net. Schmitz over to Chenkowski. This one was pulled out by Bilby, and it's right in the inside corner. The near side corner, it's a point for Ricketts. Another kill for her. The Northern Alabama commit, as we have a timeout on the floor. Here early in set number 1, 6-2 our score. So a couple notes for you. We do have a home volleyball game Thursday. Lady Bombers will take on Van Buren. The junior varsity contest will begin at 4:30. Varsity action will take place after. It's pink out night. It is Cancer Awareness Night in the hangar, so bring your pink with you. It's also homecoming week, so a lot of events scheduled in the school district and around the area, weather permitting. Culminates Friday with the homecoming game. You can catch the game on here or in person against Little Rock Christian. Little Rock Christian coming in the number 2 team in the state of Arkansas. In the latest Arkansas media polls, number 3 in the state of Arkansas, behind Greenwood, and I believe Conway was the top one. I know Greenwood was ahead of them. 6-2 our score. Martz to Chenkowski, served to the middle for McCarn. It's blocked in the front row. Lady Bombers can respond now. Here's Vostatek as looked like the front row for Harrison. Stepped across the line, they didn't call it. That's the third hit, dug out by Miller. Punch to the far side to, that was number 18, Ricketts. Oh, Reese Ricketts. Another kill for her. 7-2 our score. That one had some fire on it. It's a very stout Harrison Lady Goblin team that the Lady Bombers will see this evening. McCarn punches this one. It falls to the floor. It's another point for Harrison. 8-2 now. 8-2 our score here early on. Chenkowski back to Jackson to Schmitz from the 10-foot line right to the net. 9-2 now. So it's a 7-0 run for Harrison. Nine to 2 our score. This is sent to Schmitz. Jackson up top, McCarn, as this one will go to the floor, and the Lady Bombers will get served back.
Point, Lady Bombers.
Well, this is Allie Chenkowski who will serve now. Good serve by her to the far side as this is dug out by Jackson. It is going to go out of bounds and be a point for the Lady Goblins. 10-3. So it's a point for Harrison. Now Marley Raines will serve. Sophomore defensive specialist only. McCarn over to the far side now. They'll set it up for Ricketts, and it's in. It's a point for Reese Ricketts and Harrison, as it's 11-3 now. Martz to Jackson. Now comes to this side to Schmitz. Lofts that one, and that'll fall to the floor. Lead back down to 7.
Point, Lady Bombers.
So now it'll be Pika Traver who will come in to serve. Pika found her way into the rotation last match. Did a fine job serving. So hopefully I didn't just jinx her. As good serve by Pika, goes to the middle of the back row. Set up for Ricketts, punch straight down. And it's a kill. So Miller will head to the bench. Now it'll be Ricketts to serve. Ricketts will serve. Traver and McCarn will head to the bench. Jankowski, Jackson back to Carson Schmitz. This one was well defended by Harrison. Now it's returned by Jackson. Jankowski over to Carson Schmitz as this one is blocked. Has to go over. This is the third hit. Harrison returns it as this one will go out of play. There was no tip, and it's a point for Mountain Home.
Point, Lady Bombers.
So now Lauren Rawls will serve. Rawls, one of the many sophomores that sees playing time. As this is punched down. Schmitz sends this one over the net. This will have to be over on the third hit. As this will be a point for Mountain Home.
Point, Lady Bombers.
12-6 now. Lead's cut down to 6. So Lauren Rawls will serve now. Lady Bombers in their road blue uniforms, white numerals and trim. A little bit of gold in there as well. As this is punched in the front row, this will go out of play, and it's a point for Mountain Home. So after an 8-0 run by Harrison, Mountain Home's cut the lead down to 5. Rawls serving now. It's served by her, goes to the back row. Goes to the far side, it's blocked. Dug out by Rawls, and they're going to say that it hit the floor. Looked like Rawls was able to pancake it, but the officials thought otherwise. It is a kill for Harrison. And now it's Sidani who will serve. Not too much of an argument from anyone. Here's Schmitz over to the far side. Chinkowski. Looked like Jones was going to wind up for that one. As this is punched but dug out by Chinkowski. Schmitz returns it. Ricketts sends it over to the far side. Chinkowski up to Carson Schmitz. This one is set to the net. Jones saves it. Her and Martz collide as Schmitz punches this one home. Ricketts from the 10-foot line returns it. Chinkowski to Carson Schmitz. Right to Ricketts in the back row. Mountain Home trying to respond on the third hit. This clips the net, tickles the tape, and it's a point for Mountain Home. Falls right in front of the 10-foot line. Now the lead's down to 5 once again. So Carson Schmitz will serve. Schmitz, one of 3 seniors on this Lady Bomber team, 2 of which play a lot. Third one, Jaden Davis, doesn't play. This is dug up by Schmitz, and a line violation's called. Well, it could be a line or a net violation. It looked like Allie was in the net and over the line. 14-8 now. It's Jones, Carson Schmitz, and Human up front. Then Chinkowski, Rawls, and Martz in the back row. Allie swings at this one, falls right in front of Ricketts, and it's a point for Mountain Home. 14-9 now. Addison Martz will serve. Martz ready to go. Good serve by her, right to Ricketts. Comes to the far side. Schmitz sends it to the back corner, almost fell in. Just missed the sideline by about a foot. And it's a point for Harrison. So Miller will come back in to serve. 15-9 now. Lead was as big as 9 in this set. Miller's serve goes to Schmitz. Chinkowski over to McCarn. McCarn, as they're saying it's tipped, and it was. It's a point for Mountain Home. Line judge is ready to call it out, but then he saw there was a tip. So it's a point for Mountain Home. Jones and Rawls will exit the game. Vosta Tech and Jackson will come back in. Jackson will serve. So Rawls and Jones will take a seat. Jackson ready to go. Good serve by her. Goes to the middle of the back row. They're going to set it up for Ricketts as she punches it straight down. Nobody was there to cover the block. And it's a point for Harrison. Another kill for Ricketts. So now should still, no, it's Hutchison serving now. I thought there was a change of possession. That's right. So it's Lexi Hutchison serving, as this is a point for Mountain Home. 11-16 now. So Chinkowski will serve once again. Allie taking her time, ready to go. Serves on the way. It's going to go to the left side of the back row. They set it up for Ricketts, just punches it straight down. As Jackson over to Martz, returns it on the third hit. Miller, they're going to go to Ricketts again on the far side as it's punched straight down. Actually going to say it's out. It looked like it was out before it touched anyone. But the officials thought otherwise, as it's a point for Harrison. Serves right to Martz, to Vostatek. Jackson's got to send it over for the third hit. Goes to Ricketts, off the side of her wrist. Chinkowski to Carson Schmitz, as this is mishandled, and it's a point for Mountain Home. So Pika Traver will come in to serve. Deanna Heumann will come back. They will replace McCarn and Martz. So up front it is Vostatek, Heumann, and Schmitz. Back row, it is Jackson, Pika Traver serving, and Ali Chinkowski. Lady Bombers have a timeout remaining in this set, this first set of the ball game. This goes back to the far side. Excuse me, the near side to Ricketts. It's return. Here's Traver over to Carson Schmitz. Punches this one, and it's a 4-point game. 17-13 now. Looked like at the start of this set it was going to get out of hand, but now it's a ball game. 17-13. Traver will serve. Good serve by Pika. Goes to the libero of Harrison. They set it up for Ricketts. She just lofts it, and nobody was there for Harrison to return it for the block. It's 17-14 now. So Traver will serve. Met by the back row. They set it up for Ricketts. It's dug out by Chinkowski, mishandled it, and it's a point for Harrison. So serve will go back to Harrison. Ricketts will serve now.
Ricketts now serving for the Lady Goblins.
Schmitz digs it out to Jackson. Back to Carson Schmitz. It was blocked, but it landed in play. It's a point for Mountain Home. So 15-18. Mountain Home hanging around in this one, with the top team in the 5A West via the tiebreaker. Excuse me, they're in second place via the tiebreaker. Them and Greenwood are tied. Then Russellville and Mountain Home chasing Van Buren for that 4th spot. Goes back this way as this is set up by Martz. Chinkowski to Schmitz. Comes back this way as saved by Schmitz. Martz now back to Carson's. Got to loft it over. Comes this way as this is blocked in the front row. Jones missed it. And it's a point for Mountain Home. Or a point for Harrison, excuse me. Jennings with the kill. As a timeout for Mountain Home. So timeout for the Lady Bombers. That is the final timeout of the first set for them. 19-15 our score. Lady Bombers trying to get something going. As again, other games going on in the 5A West. Greenbrier is on the road. They're taking on Russellville. Greenwood and Van Buren are playing right now. And Alma and Siloam Springs are playing right now. Alma is at Siloam Springs, Greenwood is at Van Buren, and Greenbrier is at Russellville. The other games in conference play. So Mountain Home finds himself down 19-15 here in the first set. There's a lot more people than would normally be here, I would assume, because the junior high teams are playing in the old Spook House right behind where we're at here. Actually, right, depending which way you're standing, right behind us. It is connected to the building, however. So our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade teams are playing right now. That started at 4 o'clock, so I imagine they'd be wrapping up here pretty soon. As serve on the way from Sedani. Schmitz to Mia Jones, who will punch this one. Looked like it might have been the fourth hit, but it went right to the hands of the official, and that's a point for Harrison. 20-15 now. First one to 20 is Harrison. Adani's serve goes to Chenkowski. Carson Schmitz sends it over on the second hit. Comes to the far side. It's blocked, but it goes under the net. It's a point for Harrison, 21-15. Serve on the way to Martz. Schmitzy over to Human, who will loft it over. Jankowski to Martz. Carson Schmitz will load up now. This is dug out by Harrison. Ricketts from the 10-foot line. Hard hit on that one. Schmitz sends it over right to Ricketts. Goes to the far side as it goes into the net, and it's a point for Mountain Home. They trim the lead to 5. It's a point for the Lady Bombers. So Schmitz will serve here. Lofts it back this way. Jones returns it to Schmitz, who will set up Chenkowski. It was blocked in the front row. Human sent it back straight up as it was just a fight at the net, and Harrison wins that fight, 22-16 now. Mountain Home out of timeouts. Harrison still has both. Harrison led by head coach April Maddox. She's been at Harrison as long as I can remember. I believe the number she told me was around 2003 was her first year there. As this is served into the net, it's a point for Mountain Home. So Mountain Home will get the ball back. Martz will serve. Her serve's on the way to the right side of the back row, right to Ricketts. Comes back this way. This is punched down as Schmitz lofts it in the air, about hit the basketball goal in the ceiling. As McCarn returns it over her head. Ricketts, now it's punched to the middle as Rawls can't get there. It's a point for Harrison, and they are 2 points away from a 1-0 lead. So that was Knoll with the kill. As a whistle and a rotation violation is called. Coach Dave's wanting, I think she wants an explanation on that one. So it is set point. As they're going to, not much of an argument there. So it's 24-17, set point for Harrison. As a point for Mountain Home, as they have cut it down to 6. That should be 24-18, but they can't count here over in Harrison, I guess. But it should be 24-18. We're not going to say anything too loud though, as that last one was they called a replay on that one, so the score is correct. My Mountain Home education failed me for a second there, as it is 23-18. Get the score corrected on your screen there for you. McCarn swats this one, as this is set over. Sedani has to tip it back over. Jankowski on the first hit, as this will fall to the ground. 23-19. Harrison's still 2 points away from a 1-0 lead. Jackson's serve ready to go. Younger sister Aaliyah Jackson playing volleyball at Evangel as Ricketts punches this one down. That one had a lot on it. And it's 24-19. Harrison will serve for the set.
Game point.
Lexi Hutchison will serve now. A junior defensive specialist. Hutchison serving, the PA announcer inexplicably talking while she's serving, and it's a point for Mountain Home on the kill. Stadium announcer helping Mountain Home there, talking while she was serving. So it's 24-20 now. Mountain Home trying to stay alive as Chinkowski will serve. Younger sister of two collegiate athletes. Older brother Jacob pitching at the collegiate level, and older sister Sydney Chinkowski, a very accomplished golfer for Lyon College over in Batesville. This is set up for Ricketts. This is Martz returned it. Went straight up as this is dug out by Sedani to the far side. Ricketts on the second hit. Hit a Lady Goblin in the head, and it's a point for Mountain Home. 24-21, I think I said it was a line violation. So Chinkowski will serve once again, as that was all-conference goalkeeper Jaden Davis who handed that one to her. The third senior for this Lady Bomber club. This is set to Ricketts on the far end, punch straight down. Not much to do there, and that'll do it for the first set. So Harrison will take set one. We'll take a short little break. Here is this from Mountain Home Public Schools.
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry principal.
Guyberry, we started 12 years ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since then. We've come a long way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year. Mr. Tim Harris won that award 2 years ago, and then this year at State ALE Convention, he was appointed to the Arkansas Association of Alternative Educators State Boards. We're proud to have him on there. It's really been a big blessing.
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry principal.
Guyberry, we started 12 years ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since then. We've come a long way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year. Mr. Tim Harris won that award 2 years ago, and then this year at State ALE Convention, he was appointed to the Arkansas Association of Alternative Educators State Boards. We're proud to have him on there. It's really been a big blessing.
Visiting with Miss Kristen Goodwin, how would you describe the culture at Hackler? I've always heard it referred to as Happy Hackler.
Well, we are very happy at Hackler. We're very proud of the work that we do at Hackler. I think that we have outstanding students, and we have a faculty and staff that I am immensely proud to work with. They are easy to talk about. They're easy to celebrate because they want what's best for our students, and I'm very proud to be able to lead them.
Here's Mary Beth Russell, Mountain Home High School principal.
So we have a lot of good going on right now at the high school. Think about it. If you're a teenager, you want to come to high school because we have all the things. That's the best part about being in high school is doing the things. Listen, if you can name it, we have a club that fits it. You know, I joke around about we're like New York. We're the high school that never sleeps. We have the mentoring program once a month. Our kids, they get to actually look and see experiences that no other high school in our area provides.
Here's Kyle McCarn, Mountain Home Junior High School principal.
Everybody has a good time at the junior high. We're so proud of what we've been able to accomplish and all of those things. I think the biggest thing we have going at Mountain Home Junior High is just the culture that we have established. We have a ton of teachers and other staff that are encouraged and uplifting and ready for kids to be in our building so they can just create the best environment for learning.
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry principal.
Guyberry, we started 12 years ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since then. We've come a long way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year. Mr. Tim Harris won that award 2 years ago, and then this year at State ALE Convention, he was appointed to the Arkansas Association of Alternative Educators State Boards. We're proud to have him on there. It's really been a big blessing.
Visiting with Miss Kristen Goodwin, how would you describe the culture at Hackler? I've always heard it referred to as Happy Hackler.
Well, we are very happy at Hackler. We're very proud of the work that we do at Hackler. I think that we have outstanding students, and we have a faculty and staff that I am immensely proud to work with. They are easy to talk about. They're easy to celebrate because they want what's best for our students, and I'm very proud to be able to lead them.
Here's Mary Beth Russell, Mountain Home
McCarn
High School
over her
principal.
outstretched hand.
So we have a lot of good
As they
going
just
on
missed
right
that
now at the
one.
high
It's a
school.
point for
Think about it. If
Harrison.
you're a teenager, you want to come to high school because we have all the things. That's the best part about
If
being
we
in
get
high
any
school is
updates
doing
on
the
the
things.
junior high
Listen, if you can name it, we have a
we'll
club
pass
that
those along
fits
to
it.
you
I
here.
joke around about we're like New York. We're the high school that never sleeps. We have the mentoring program once a month. Our
As
kids,
this
they
will
get
fall
to
in
actually
just
look and
inside the
see
corner,
experiences
and it's
that
1-1.
no other high school in our area provides.
So Chinkowski will serve now.
Here's Kyle McCarn, Mountain Home Junior High School principal.
Everybody has a good time at the junior high. We're so proud of what we've been
Chinkowski
able
to
to
serve.
accomplish
Front row
and
is
all of
Schmitz.
those things. I think the
Boston Tech
biggest
and
thing we have
McCarn,
going at
that
Mountain
is
Home Junior
Martin
High is
Jackson
just the culture that we have
Chinkowski in the back
established.
row as
We
this
have
goes out of
a
play.
ton of
A point for
teachers
Mountain Home.
and other staff that are encouraged and uplifting and ready for kids to be in our building so they
2-1
can
our
just
score.
create the
Harrison with a
best
1-0
environment for
lead.
learning.
Talking
As
with
a
Jeff Kincaid,
lift violation.
Guyberry
Yeah,
principal.
lift violation.
Guyberry,
Yep,
we started
3-1
12
Mountain
years
Home.
ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since
So
then.
Chinkowski will
We've come a
still
long
serve.
way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year.
basketball
Mr. Tim
players
Harris
making
won
a
that
trip over here.
award 2 years ago, and
Bomber
then
basketball
this
schedule
year
just
at
released
State
yesterday.
ALE
Check it out
Convention, he was
everywhere as
appointed
this is
to
sent to
the
Ricketts.
Arkansas Association of
Chinkowski
Alternative
to
Educators
Rawls.
State Boards.
To
We're proud to have
Schmitz,
him
who's
on
gonna
there.
punch
It's
this
really
one.
been a big
Ricketts
blessing.
lines this one right in the net.
Visiting with Miss
And
Kristen
it's
Goodwin,
4-1
how
Lady
would you
Bombers.
describe the culture at Hackler? I've always heard it referred to as Happy Hackler.
Well, we are very happy at Hackler. We're very proud of the work that we do at Hackler. I think that we have outstanding students and we have a faculty and staff that I am immense.
Sorry about that. We had a little audio issue. We'll have that from time to time. 5-1 our score now. Got to hear from our amazing principals in the district. Shout out to had a couple people text me. He's like, hey, we can still hear the principals talking. I'm like, well, it's probably better than me. So as Ricketts will punch this one home. It was a good block, but not good enough in the front row as Harrison cuts into the lead. It's 5-2. I guess we should let the principals talk still. About a sort of 5-1 run when the principals were talking. So this is Hutchison to serve. Jackson lines it up for Schmitz. Punches this one as this will go right over the net. Schmitz right there on the case. Chinkowski on the second hit. As Miller over to the far side, Ricketts. Man, that's hard to defend, as that's a point for Harrison. Oh, Ricketts. PA announcer saying kill Ricketts. That's a little extreme. I mean, he does basketball and football. He does a fantastic job. He's not as good as the guy at Mountain Home, but as we're going to have a back row attack called. That is a rare call that you'll see, 5-4, so suddenly a 5-1 game is now 5-4. As Scott McDonald is here, former Mountain Home native, along with Russellville and West Valley Springs and Russellville and everywhere, as it's 5-5 now. North Valley Springs native. As this is set over to Carson Schmitz. This is blocked, nobody there. It falls just past the 10-foot line, just like that. That's a 5-0 run for the Lady Goblins. Hey, well, they're tied for first place in the West for a reason. This is a very stout volleyball team, as have a stoppage in play. Chinkowski tying her shoes. She's all set to go. Now we're ready to resume. Hutchison still serving. 6-5 our score. March, Chinkowski lines it up for Carson Schmitz. Just lofts it over and it'll fall in. A lift violation will be called. And it's 6-6. So now Addison Martz will come in as we have a few more Mountain Homies lining up here. Coming in, of course, the Bomber basketball players in attendance able to get out early as this is punched down, nobody there. 7-6, they were able to get out early because there was no power in either gymnasium or part of the school from about 2 o'clock until probably just over an hour ago. So they were able to get out early and make their way over here. So Harrison serving now. Jackson to Schmitz. It's blocked in the front row, 8-6 now. So Mountain Home, once led 5-1, it is now a 7-2 run, or 7-1 run for the home team. Marley Rains gives it back to the back row. This is dug out. They couldn't really set up Ricketts. They'll send it over to Sedani, who sends it over. The third hit goes to Schmitz, as this goes right in front of Sienna Miller with the kill. 8-7 our score now. So Mountain Home will serve. Rawls and Mia Jones will come in. Jones will go to the front row, and Rawls will serve. So the front row is Jones, Schmitz, and Deanna Human. Rawls will serve. The back row joining her will be Martz and Chinkowski. The ball's on the way. Almost fell right in front of Sedani as they'll launch this one as Martz couldn't get a handle on it. 7-9 now, so the serve will go back to Harrison. Grace Jennings with the kill as Ricketts will serve now. 9-7 here. Both teams still have both timeouts. They get 2 timeouts per set as Schmitz tried to set it up and nobody was there. So miscommunication there. 10-7 now. 10-7 our score. Ricketts still serving. Rawls to Schmitzy, over to Mia Jones, who will try to loft that one. Goes right into the tape. 11-7 now. As Coach Jill Daves will call timeout. Her first timeout of the second set. So again, our next broadcast will be Friday. We'll have Bomber football for you. That'll be against Little Rock Christians, the homecoming game. Actually, we'll have another broadcast for you. We will have the home game for volleyball on Thursday. That is against Van Buren. It'll be on the huddle camera. No commentary for that one. Come out to the hangar. It is pink out night over there. Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Everyone will be decked out in pink. The student section theme is pink, so it'll be a good time there Thursday. Come out, support these Lady Bombers. That's a big battle. That's a battle for 4th place. As they are cranking that Soldier Boy here in Goblin Arena. So see if we can get you a score update from some of the places around the conference. Van Buren and Greenwood just starting. Looks like. Yeah, they're getting underway. Forget they have multiple JV teams that they'll play. It's set to Ricketts from the 10-foot line. Chinkowski up to Schmitz. Punches this one right to Ricketts. Digs that one out. Goes to the far side as it will fall in. A point for Harrison. Martz wasn't able to track it down. So Tilly Parker gets the kill, and Ricketts will still serve. Here is Rawls, back to Chinkowski, to Carson Schmitz from the 10-foot line. Tickles the tape right to Sedani. Goes back to the far side to Chinkowski. Rawls lines it up for Schmitz, punches this one home. Nobody's there to recover from the block. 13-7 now. Jennings with the block. So Ricketts still serving. Lady Bombers trying to figure out a way to get the serve back. 13-7 now. Rawls digs this one out. Chinkowski over to Schmitz. She'll just tap it over. Ricketts launches it. They will send it to the front row. That was Tilly Parker who returned it. It's sent over. It's sent to the front row as it's off of Martz's hand. It is tipped at a point for Harrison. Harrison up a touchdown now. It's the first time that statement's been said this year. Ricketts will still serve. As it's rolled over. Ricketts still serving here. Martz to Chinkowski, loads it up for Schmitz. Tips it over as it hits the sideline. Line judge had to think about it, but he made the right choice. 14-8 now. Mountain Home will serve once again. So Carson Schmitz will serve. As Traver will come in, as it'll be Human will come in. Schmitz will still serve. They about had to keep Traver in, because I think once you get her there, she has to come in, but thankfully they didn't get her there, as this will go out of play. A point for Mountain Home. 14-9 now, and Schmitz will still serve. So it's Schmitz, Rawls, and Martz in the back row, as this is lofted to Schmitz, to Jones, back to Schmitz at the 10-foot line, punches this one home, and it's a kill for Carson Schmitz. Back to what I was saying, the front row is Jones, Human, and Allie Chinkowski now. That's the 6 on the floor for Mountain Home. I'd say just looking around here, there's a lot of Mountain Home people here. Of course, as this is served into the net, 15-10. The junior high for Mountain Home taking on Harrison's junior high right behind us here in the old Spook House.
Now serving, Taylor
Sedani will serve. I believe I was saying it incorrect. I was saying Sedani, but it's Sedani. She will serve, and I don't know what the delay is, as Sedani will serve, as this one will go into the net. So back-to-back service errors, and Mountain Home gets served back, as Traver and McCarn will come in. Traver will serve, McCarn will go to the front row, so it's McCarn, Shinkowski, and Jones up front. Schmitz, Rawls, and Pika Traver serving in the back row. Traver serve goes to Ricketts. It's bounced back this way. They're going to set it up on the far end. It's blocked, but it goes out of play. A point for the Lady Goblins, as that was set up for Callie Noel. Us, Harrison Ball Club, only 3 seniors. Laney Raines, Reese Ricketts, and Carly Bilby. So that's 3 big pieces that they'll be missing next year, as this is set right to Rawls. Serve to McCarn. McCarn chased it down. Sedani over to the near side. Parker as it clips the sideline, and that's a point for Harrison. Bilby serving, gives it to Schmitz. Jankowski sends it on the second hit. Ricketts was there to pick it out. Schmitz back to Anna McCarn as this is tipped in the air. Ricketts has to save it, so here's the third hit. That was Bilby who returned it. Schmitz sends it on the second hit as it's blocked in the front row. McCarn just put a hand on it and knocked it straight down, so a point for Mountain Home. Jackson and Vostatek will come in. They will replace Jones and Rawls, who will get a seat. So Jackson will serve. Set over to the far side. Blocked in the front row by Vostatek and McCarn. 17-13 now. So a point for Mountain Home. Leads back down to 4. Lady Bombers once led by 4 in this set. 5-1. 13 serving 17. Punch this way. Schmitz digs it out. Martz back to Carson Schmitz as this is dug out by Harrison. That was Bilby. And now Sedani returns it. Schmitz lines it up for McCarn. Taps it back. Sedani to the far side. It'll be Parker on the second hit. As this is sent over. Good diving effort by Chinkowski to save that one. Parker again blocked, dug out by Harrison. The third hit will go to Ricketts. 15 feet behind, tickles the tape. Back to Schmitz. Jankowski will swing and nobody's there. It's a point for Mountain Home. Mountain Home's cut the lead to 3 here in set 2. Jackson to serve now. It's Jackson, Martz, and Schmitz in the back row. Vostatek, McCarn, and Chinkowski up front. As this serve goes to the right corner. Back to Ricketts. Now it's blocked in the front row. It's the fourth hit, and the lead's down to 2. 17-15 our score now. Serves on the way, is dug out by Sedani. This is hit under the net. The lead's down to 1. April Maddox wants a timeout. It's a 1-point game here in set number 2. So now both sides will have a timeout remaining. It was a 4-set affair back home when Lady Bombers played this team about 3.5 weeks ago. But each set was close. Lady Bombers took the second set. Actually, the set the Mountain Home won was not close. It was about a 12-point victory because Lady Bombers made very few mistakes in that one. But the first, third, and fourth set were all 25-22. So these teams are a lot closer than the average person might think. Well, it's been a good one so far. Lady Goblins won the first set 25-21. It was a set they led by as much as 10. The Lady Bombers trimmed it down to 2, but they had to play catch-up. And if you're having to play catch-up for a large number to get back into it, that could lead to trouble as Mountain Home wasn't able to come back. Jackson's serve goes to the far side. This is saved by Schmitz, dug out by Jackson as Vostatek will send it back on the third hit to Sedani. This will set to the far side. It's dug out. Rawls is right there. Or actually, that was Martz, but she can't dig it out. It's a point for Harrison. And Rains is scored with the kill. Sienna Miller, the 5-foot junior defensive specialist, will serve for the Lady Goblins. Jankowski up to McCarn as this is a kill for Mountain Home. 18-17. It's back to a 1-point game. Jankowski will serve now. Jankowski's serve goes to the left side to Miller of the back row. Now to the far side, they'll set it up for Ricketts. Mishandled it as it's a point for Harrison. It was mishit, but it was still blocked by Mountain Home, but it went out of play. So 19-17 now. Harrison will serve once again. And a little miscommunication on the Harris sideline. Trying to figure out who's serving now. I thought it was Hutchison. It's been Miller and then Hutchison for this match and the last match Mountain Home and Harrison played. I don't know what happened there, but they got it straightened out. Hutchison's serve goes to Chinskowski to Carson. Schmitz punches this one just inside the sideline, and it's a 1-point game. So Addison Martz, the libero for Mountain Home, will serve. Martz's serve on the way. Dug out by Sedani as this is punched back by Harrison. Opposite side of Ricketts. Schmitz's kill. That is a point for Harrison. Well, the official pointed one direction, but it's a point for Mountain Home. I knew it looked like it was in, but the official up top pointed to Harrison's way, but the point goes to Mountain Home. As this is dug out by Ricketts. Jackson, Jankowski to Carson Schmitz, as this one is out of play by about a foot. They're wanting a tip. The ball looked like might have changed direction before it hit the ground. Lady Bomber bench lit up at the end of that one, so the first one to 20 will be Harrison. There's not a big discussion about it. 20-19. Harrison leads 20-19, 20 serving 19. Jackson loads it up for Carson Schmitz. They get it to the middle of the back row. Over to Ricketts. Blocked, returned by Schmitz with the left hand, but it goes out of play. 21-19, both sides have a timeout remaining in the second set. As Rains' serve goes to Martz. Comes back this way to Schmitz. Just tried to push this one. It's a point for Mountain Home. 21-20 now. Lady Bombers trying to steal set number 2. So Rawls and Jones will come in. Rawls will serve. Jones will go to the front row. So it's Human, Jones, and Schmitz. In the front and the back, it'll be Martz, Chinskowski, and Rawls serving. Martz's serve tickles the tape, and it's a double contact. A lift violation, double contact, same thing, and it's a point for Mountain Home. 21-21. Can you do something for me? Rawls' serve goes to the back row. Brought back this way. Ricketts ready to punch this one home. It's blocked, but it goes out of play. 22-21 now. Lady Goblins will serve now. Ricketts will serve. One of the most dominant players in the 5A West. Schmitz lines it up for Human. This is blocked. It was going to be out of play. Human was standing out of play. It would have landed a bit of point for Mountain Home. But Parker's credited with a kill, and it's a timeout for Mountain Home. Their final timeout here in set 2. 23-21. Lady Bombers tried to respond in this one to avoid going down 2-0. So let's see if we can't get you some scores from around the conference. As Greenwood Van Buren playing right now in the first set. Greenwood leading 8-5, about what we thought. As I believe Siloam Springs and Alma are playing right now. See if we can't get a score on that one. As we're ready to go here, this goes back to Martz. Jones mishandled it, and now it's set point for Harrison.
Point, Lady Goblins, game point, Lady Goblins.
It is the set point, as Siloam currently leads 11-3 in set 1. So this is the earliest starting match of everyone in the conference, it seems like. Rawls returns it. This goes right to, that was the outside hitter for Harrison. As couldn't tell who that was, as it is now a 2-0 lead in favor of the home team. So Harrison able to win set 2 by the same score that they won set 1, 25-21. Over here in Harrison, we will head to a third set. Lady Bombers try to come back in this one. As they find themselves down 2-0. Again, come on out this Thursday. Check out your Lady Bombers as they'll take on Van Buren. It's pink out night. All the students will get pizza free of charge. Should be an excellent contest. Our friends from Van Buren are going to make the trip up there. Lady Bombers will have their pink uniforms on as well. Should be a very good one. Hope to see you there in the hangar. That'll start at 4:30, the JV contest, and then after that will be the varsity contest. We will have a quick moment to honor those that are fighting or have fought the multiple cancers that are out there. That will be, I believe, before the varsity match and over the course of the night in the hangar. Then on Friday night, Little Rock Christian Academy will come to town for a football game, as it is homecoming week. A lot of good events going on. No, the homecoming parade will be Wednesday, weather permitting, of course. And then Thursday will be the Powder Puff football game, again, weather permitting. But regardless of weather, unless there's lightning, we will have Bomber football for you Friday night from Bomber Stadium. The homecoming festivities will be about 6:30-ish, 6:30, somewhere around there. Should be a good one. Hope to see you there as well. Come out, support these Bombers. A lot of home events this week. This is the longest road trip anyone's got to make. We want to send a congratulations to Coach Skylar King and company. They believe they came home with a conference championship. Saw the duo of Chafin and Piers Blackman brought home a conference championship, unless I'm reading this wrong. But congratulations to them. If they happen to be at the volleyball game Thursday, we'll send them a shout out. Send them a big congratulations. Also, congrats to our Bomber soccer team. Oh my Lord. Our Bomber boys golf team, as they finished runner-up in the Class 5A. as they were only outscored by Benton. This was a golf team that missed the state tournament by 1 stroke each of the last 2 years before this year. But they found a way to get in, and they about won the whole thing. So we're about ready to get going here in set number 3. Lady Bombers down 2-0. I believe it should be Mountain Home serving. As they're blasting Sweet Carolina. As we're announcing the winners of the raffle, whatever it was. I think it was fishing tickets.
And the winner of the $250 gift certificate from HBO Detailing is Betty Huber.
Do a couple giveaways here. This is a very, very decent crowd here tonight here in Harrison. A lot of Mountain Home people made the trip. Again, right behind us over in the old Spook House, the junior high teams are playing. Our 7th grade, our junior high JV, and our junior high varsity are playing right now. If we get any score updates, we'll pass them along to you. So Kara Jackson will serve to get things going here in the 3rd set. I am Dylan Conley on behalf of the Mountain Home School District, as this is sent in the front row right to Carson Schmitz. She mishandled it. And that's a point for Harrison. Callie Noel punched it home. A 6-foot junior, as Miller will serve.
Sienna Miller serving for the Lady Goblins.
Here's Miller's serve, as this is set to Martz Chinskowski now to Anna McCarn. Dug out by Sedani. A return on the first hit by Harrison, as this is set to Vostatek. Nobody was there behind her, but it's a point for Mountain Home. And we're all square at 1.
Point, Lady Bombers.
Update over in Greenwood. Scoreboard watching. Greenwood up 16-8, set 1 on the road at Van Buren. This is returned by Sedani, who will just send it square in the net, and Mountain Home has a lead. So the Lady Bombers are not able to come back, and Greenwood takes care of business over there. Mountain Home will be a game behind Van Buren on Thursday. So that's a very, very important game for both sides, as Ricketts punches this one out of bounds, and it's 3-1. No, can't stress it enough. Need you over there, ladies and gentlemen. If you can make it out to the hangar Thursday night, make it out there. It should be a good one. Only a couple home games left here for the Lady Bomber volleyball team. They will also welcome Russellville to town on Tuesday, as Chinskowski has gone to retrieve the ball. She will now serve. As they're going to exchange out the ball, or at least something has covered the ball. Some moisture. I don't know what else it would be. They're going to exchange it out. They have 3 or 4 at the scorer's table. My OCD's freaking out. The scorer's table is not centered in relation to the half-court stripe. As this is set up for Ricketts, and man, that's just different. 3-2 our score now. Harrison will serve once again. I mean, that's got smoke coming off the ball when it finally lands. So 3-2 now. It will be Hutchison serving. Hutchison, a junior defensive specialist. A lot of juniors play on this team. Hutchison's serve goes to Martz, to Jackson now. Returned by Carson Schmitz. Nobody was there to cover the block. And it's 3-3 now. So Hutchison will still serve. So it's Bilby, Miller, and Hutchison in the back row for Harrison. It is Ricketts, Parker, and Jennings in the front for Harrison. This is returned on the third hit by Schmitz to Chankowski. Surprise return on the second hit. This is set up for Ricketts. Blocked in the front row. Good job by Mountain Home to respond there. It's 4-3 now. So, looked like Magis was ready to come in, and now she's going to come in. Michaela Magis will come into the ball game. It is Magus, Schmitz, and Vostatek in the front. And then Chenskowski, Martz, and Jackson in the back row. Chenskowski up to Carson Schmitz as it's blocked, goes off the hand of Carson. And it's 4-4 now. Glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get a notification anytime we go live for any Bomber sporting event. We have only volleyball and football, but we have a few other special events coming. We'll have some esports events coming up as Schmitz's punch isn't going to stay in play. It's 5-4 now. Well, Mountain Home had the lead, but now they've lost it. 2-0 lead here. As this serve will go out of bounds, and it's a point for Mountain Home. 5-5 our score. So Rawls will be serving now. Lorelei Green will come in now. Green made an appearance in the last set, so it's Green, Michaela Magus, and Schmitz up front. This is set back, return, dug out by Mountain Home. Just tickles the tape, it gets across. Set up for Ricketts on the far side as she can't handle it, and it's a point for Mountain Home as she set it right into the net. Or hit it right in the net, excuse me. So Coach Jill Daves wanting a lineup check real quick. I believe there was a small issue with the rotation. Now they're going to check at the scorers table as Schmitz is serving now as so Rawls served that last point, but Schmitz is serving now. So if this is the case, and I think it's too late to do, as well, actually, you're going to say it's Rawls to serve now. So they're going to say they could have said they were out of rotation, depending who it was. So I think the addition of Magus and Green created a little confusion, but they have it sorted out as Magus digs this one out. Green saved, and it's 4 hits against Mountain Home. So the Lady Goblins respond back. It is 6-6 now. Six to 6 our score. As Reese Ricketts, 6'2" outside hitting senior, will serve now. He's committed to Northern Alabama. One of the more dominant players we've seen. We've seen some teams this year, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen Brooklyn, we've seen Cabot, we've seen Greenwood, and there's not too many we can think of that are more dominant than her. Requires a lot of attention. Magus saves this one. It has to be over, and what are they going to call? A line violation. So it's a point for Harrison, 6-7 now. Carson Schmitz's facial expression said it all. She couldn't really believe that because they've let a lot worse go as Magus taps this one over as it's a double contact and a point for Mountain Home. Hit off the outside hitter for Harrison. I believe that was Jennings that tapped off of twice. As Schmitz will serve now. Here's Schmitz's serve, goes to the middle of the back row. Comes back to the far side as that was Parker who returned it. Shankowski comes back this way. Ricketts from way behind the 10-foot line just sets it right into the net. 8-7, Mountain Home with the lead. So here's Carson's serve. It will go right in the net, and Mountain Home will lose serve. Harrison will now serve, as it will be Sedani to serve. So Danny serving, goes right to the back row to Rawls. Schmitz to Michaela Magus. This will go out of play about 5 feet. It's a point for Harrison. Harrison will serve now. Russellville and Greenbrier underway. Don't have a score for that one. We could see they're underway, though. Schmitz to the near side to Chenskowski. It's blocked, and it's a point for Mountain Home. They were able to block it, but they couldn't keep it in play as McCarn will come into the game to the front row, and Pika Traver will serve. Traver's serve goes to the right side as this is punched down. Schmitz couldn't handle it. Mishandled it, and it's a point for Harrison. So Harrison, the first one, 2 double digits here in set 3. Harrison's won both sets so far by the score of 25-21, so not quite as far off as you might think. As Magis and Traver will go to the bench as the arena announcer again talking while Harrison's serving, but it's a lift violation called. 9-11. 11 serving 9 now. Rawls to Chinskowski as they're going to call, what's he going to call? As we're going to have a replay as I don't know why that's a replay. As all he's got to do is look at the line judge and he'll know what to call. It should be a point for Mountain Home, if anything, as it's still 11-9. My goodness, that's not the greatest ever. As Schmitz punches this one as it's set to the far side. It's blocked in the front row by Mountain Home. Goes to the far side to Schmitz. Chinskowski lines it up for Lorelei Green. To the far side. March digs it out to Rawls. Now it's Anna McCarn over her head. Sedani. Now it's punched down. Schmitz saves it. McCarn saves it as March digs it out. Great hustle by Mountain Home. Playing their hearts off as Rawls takes a tumble. As Green punches this one home. It's a kill. The ball don't lie. A point for Mountain Home. So Mountain Home gets the serve back as Jackson and Vostatek will come in. Jackson to the back row, Vostatek up front. Jackson will serve. Some good time out there by Lorelei Green this match. First time we'd seen her in a little bit. McCarn, Vostatek, and Shankowski up front as this one's mishandled. It'll be an ace for Mountain Home, 11-11. In the back, it's Martz and Carson Schmitz, and Jackson will serve. She'll set up on the right block of the basketball court to serve this one. She'll serve. Set up by Sedani. As this is punched home, Martz digs it out, and nobody's there to pick it up. Went out of Vostatek's reach. 12-11. The home team leads now. As Sienna Miller will serve.
Sienna Miller serving for the Lady Goblins.
Miller serve, square in the middle of the paint as this one is right under the tape. And 12-12 now.
Point Lady Bombers.
Well, Harrison's had a couple service errors in this one. Jenskowski will now serve. High arcing serve goes to the libero. Goes to the far side. Ricketts, man, that's a blur when it goes off her hand. A point for Harrison. 13-12 our score now. So Hutchison will serve. Hutchison's serve goes to Schmitz. Back to Carson Schmitz. Punches this one home. Rattles the net. Now they'll get it back to Ricketts as Jackson can't dig it out. A point for Harrison. 14-12. Both teams with their entire allotment of timeouts. And Coach Jill Davis wants a timeout. She'll take her first one here in set 3. So she'll have one remaining here in the third set. Glad you're here with us this afternoon on the Bomber Sports Network. You're home for Bomber Athletics. Don't forget, Friday is homecoming as the Mountain Home Bomber football team, after the loss to Pulaski Academy, welcomed Little Rock Christian Academy to town. Game will kick off at 7 o'clock. The homecoming festivities will start about 6:30 or so. Plenty of great seats available there. Come on out and support the Bomber football team. As we're getting things wrapped up here in the timeout. Mountain Home will have one timeout left here in the third set. It'll still be Hutchison serving. Hutchison's serve goes to Martz. Jackson over to Schmitz, punches this one home, tickles the tape. Now they set it up for Ricketts, who'll just tap it over. Jankowski to Carson Schmitz. It's blocked, and nobody's there. It's a point for Harrison, and it's 15-12. I see Hutchison still serving. Hutchison's serve goes to the middle of the back row, sets up for McCarn. As this will go out of play and be a point for Mountain Home. Looked like they could have called a line violation, but regardless, it's a point for Mountain Home. McCarn will head to the bench. It is Martz, Chinskowski, and Jackson in the back row. Magis, Schmitz, and Vostutek in the front for Mountain Home. 15-13 here. The serve goes to Sedani. As this one is punched down by Ricketts. Very slow for her pace. As this is lifted back to Jankowski, to Martz, to Carson Schmitz. And it'll be 4 hits as it never cleared the net. 16-13. I was going to say it's a point for the Lady Bombers. Excuse me. They're going to believe it was a line violation. Hard to see the signal here as we are behind the up judge. So he might give a signal out in front of him, but can't see it. This is blocked, and it's a lift, and a point for Mountain Home. So we're all square at 15 here in set 3. Martz will serve now. Here is her serve. Miller goes to the far side. Ricketts, as this is blocked but set into the 7th row of the bleachers. It's another kill for Reese Ricketts, the Northern Alabama commit. I believe it'll be, should be Raines to serve, that's right. This if memory serves correctly. Marley Raines, a sophomore 5'5" defensive specialist. As this is punched by Schmitz. It'll be returned here. They set it up for Ricketts, and that'll go out of play. A point for Mountain Home. What to the left of the antenna as Rawls and Green will come in. Rawls' serve goes to the right side of the back row. As this is blocked, Schmitz can't do anything with it, and it's a point for Harrison, 17-16. In this matchup, in the 6 sets that have been played so far, the team that has gotten to 21st has won all 6 sets. So an important number approaching here. As Ricketts' serve goes to Schmitz. Schmitz returns on the second hit. As it's set up, and it's going to fall in to the far side corner, and a point for Harrison. Joel Davis has 1 timeout remaining as it's a kill for Jennings, so Ricketts will serve again. As this is punched straight down, and it's a kill for Mountain Home. So it's a 1-point game. Greenwood has taken set 1 over Van Buren, 25-17. Carson Schmitz will serve now. Schmitz's serve goes to Sedani, and it's set up, and this will go out of play. Well, it was going to be a point for Mountain Home either way. It was good, went out of play, but it was also a lift, so it's 18-18 now. That serve tickles the tape. It's an ace for Carson Schmitz. 19-18 now. So Mountain Home has the lead here. Here's Schmitz's serve as it tickles the tape. Almost was another ace. Took a funky spin after it hit it. Schmitz to Chinskowski, up to Carson Schmitz from the 10-foot line. Goes right down to Ricketts. Goes to the far end. It's set up, and Rawls can't handle it. Hits off the front of the upper deck as Parker gets the kill. So Sidani will still serve. Mountain Home currently tied in set number 3. Very important number coming up. In all 6 sets between these two teams, the first team to 20 has won that set in all 6 occasions so far, as this is an ace, and Harrison is the first one to 20. So let's see if they can fall to 6-1 in that sense, as Drury will come in for Rawls. Drury will come into the back row, replacing Rawls. Here's Sidani on the way. Drury digs it out. Carson Schmitz back to Mages. Mages punches this one, and it's going to be a kill for Michaela Mages. 20-20 now. So Mages will come in, and a timeout on the floor. Coach Jill Daves calls her final timeout. There might have been a little confusion with the substitutions, but 20-20 our score here in the third set. So Mountain Home trying to take this one to a 4th set here in Goblin Arena. Of course, last time we were in this arena, it was very exciting ball games. It was Bomber basketball season, which is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It was a clean sweep. I think both JV games were won, both varsity games were won. Very exciting contest. Bomber tip-off right around the corner. That'll be November 4th. That will start in the morning. I believe 11 a.m. is the start time for that. So mark your calendars. Pika Traver will come in. She will serve. 20-20 here in set 3. Traver's serve on the way. He'll go to the right side of the back row. They're going to set it up to this side for Parker, as this one will fall in. A point for Mountain Home. That was Tilly Parker on the hit there, as Traver will serve once again. Traver's serve goes to Ricketts in the back row. They come to the far side as Noel has the kill, and we're tied once again. Noel gets the kill, and it's a point for the Lady Goblins. 4 points away from a 3-0 victory. Mountain Home trying to say otherwise. Bilby will serve, one of the 3 seniors for Harrison. March to Chinskowski, up to McCarn as it's blocked in the front row. McCarn couldn't recover in time. It's 22-21 now. Noel has another kill. Mountain Home out of timeouts. I don't believe Coach Maddox has called a timeout in the 2 matchups we've seen so far between them. Likes to let her players play. McCarn, this one is swatted down. Sidani over to the way behind the 18-foot line. This will go out of play. It's a point for Mountain Home. 22-22 now. Vostatek Jackson will come back in. Vostatek will go to the front row, and Jackson will go to serve. They will replace Drury and Lorelei Green. Lorelei's had some good time on the floor tonight for Mountain Home. Well, Daves might have found something there, as this serve goes to Ricketts in the back. This is dug out, saved by Schmitz. It will tickle the tape as it is returned on the third hit by Martz. They set it up on the far side for Parker as nobody's there. And it's a point for Harrison. Harrison a point away from match point. If Mountain Home not able to respond. Sienna Miller will serve now, a 5-foot junior defensive specialist. Miller serve on the way. This is high arcing, tipped high in the air. Jackson digs it out. Schmitz returns it over her head for the third hit. Come back to this side. They'll load it up for Ricketts as no one's there, and it's match point for Harrison. So it is 24-22.
Game point, Harrison.
Match point for Harrison. Miller serve on the way to Martz. Chinskowski to Carson Schmitz. Over to Sedani. It's blocked down by McCarn. This one will go out of play. 24-23. Mountain Home stays alive for another point. So Mountain Home can score here. They will extend the match. If they're able to tie it, then it'll be first one to 26 will win, and so on. Don't know what that pronunciation of Chinskowski was, but it is Ali Chinskowski serving. Set over to Ricketts on the far side. It's blocked. Miller digs it out. They set up for Ricketts again. This one's lofted. Jackson punches in the air. McCarn has to return it over her head. They get it back over. Good hustle play by McCarn. They set it up for Ricketts. Blocked in the front row. Bodies flying everywhere. Ricketts punches this one down. Martz there. Chinskowski sends it to Schmitz on the third hit. Miller digs it out. Goes to the near side. It's blocked and it falls to the ground. And that's a point and the match for Harrison. So Harrison wins the match 3-0. That's all she wrote from Goblin Arena. Final score 3-0. Harrison won all 3 sets by the score 25-21, 25-21, and 25-23. Lady Bombers will be at home on Thursday as they will welcome Van Buren to the hangar. Hope you joined us there. JV starts at 4:30. So on behalf of the Mountain Home School District, I am Dylan Conley. Wish you a safe and good rest of your evening. Again, final score. Lady Goblins take the sweep 3-0 here on the Bomber Sports Network.